The first event is George Washington as Commander-in-Chief. George Washington was chosen based on his previous military experience and the hope that a leader from Virginia could help unite the colonies. This happened in 1775. He got no pay for his position. He requested that he did not receive a salary for his service. A fun fact about George Washington is he was the first president of the United States. The Articles of Confederation is the second event. The Articles of Confederation were written in 1777. The original purpose for the Articles was to create a loose confederation of sovereign states and a weak central government, leaving most of the power with the states' government. They represent the first constitutional agreement made between the 13 American states. The Articles of Confederation created a nation that was a league of friendship and perpetual union. The Declaration of Independence is the third event, and it happened in 1776. The main goal and purpose was to explain foreign nations why the colonies had chosen to separate themselves from George Bush. Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert R. Livingston were appointed to a committee to draft a Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence helped other countries to give them a model to follow. The fourth event is the Treaty of Alliance with France. The treaty was signed in 1778. The French formed an alliance with the Americans because France was Britain's enemy. Congress sends Silas Deane, Benjamin Franklin, and Arthur Lee to France to make an alliance. The fifth event is the Treaty of Paris. The talks began in 1782 to make the treaty. The treaty was signed in Paris, France on September 3, 1783. The three Americans that were involved with the signing of the treaty were Benjamin Franklin, John Kay, and John Adams. The article of the treaty, which was the most important to the Americans, was the preliminary Articles of Peace. The primary goal of the treaty was to recognize American independence, and Richard Oswald represented the British at the signing. The sixth event is the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution was ratified in 1787. Ratify means to sign or give formal consent to, making it officially valid. The states had more power because they wanted to protect the majority rights. The problem with who had more power was they couldn't print money and couldn't make laws without countries knowing. They weren't united. The seventh event were the Federalist Papers. This event happened between 1787 and 1788. The writers of the papers were Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Kay. There were 85 essays written. And no, the Americans did not really know the true authors. They appeared anonymous under the name Publius. The name means an advocate of federalism supporting the Federalist government. It came from papers made by the Federalists. The importance of Federalist number 84 talks about objection that the proposed Constitution contained no Bill of Rights. Federalist means Federalist principle or system of government, individuals who support a strong national government. Here are some fun facts about the American Revolutionary War. 1. Washington was appointed commander of the Continental Army on June 14, 1775. He would not return to Mount Vernon until 6 years later. Fact 2. Prior to his appointment as head of the Continental Army, Washington had never commanded a large army in the field. Fact 3. Washington and the Continental Army narrowly escaped total destruction in the New York Campaign of 1776. Fact 4. Washington crossed the Delaware twice in December 1776. Fact 5. Washington's smallpox inoculation program was one of his best decisions of the war. Fact 6. Supply issues became one of Washington's greatest challenges. Fact 7. Mount Vernon escaped destruction in 1781, but the method used to gain its security alarmed Washington. Fact 8. Prior to its decisive victory at Yorktown, the American military teetered upon total collapse. Fact 9. Washington deftly put down a growing military rebellion. Fact 10. Washington's greatest display of power was his surrender of power. The websites I used were www.loc.gov. Second one I used was history.state.gov. And the third one I used was www.mountvernon.org for the George Washington facts.